Good evening, everyone. I'll call this regular Board of Selectmen meeting to order for February 2nd at 5:30 p.m. At the table, we have Selectman John Measham, Selectman Jim Lampos, and our clerk Jen Datum, and we have members of the press and public here. Moving on to information items for communications and correspondence. The only thing that I have of note is that I did hear from Deep that they have a plan going forward with the private beach associations and that they should be in touch with me in the next week. And I'm eager to hear what our plans are. Okay, do you have anything?
Yeah, I had a couple phone calls right before the meeting complaining about the large sign at the First Congregational Church not being in compliance with the historic district policy.
Okay, I didn't see it this morning when it came in.
I think they just put it up.
Well, I know that the historic district sometimes allow signs for 30 days, but I don't know. So they really should call, send an email to historic district.
I suggested that, yes.
Okay. Jim, anything?
Just a couple of letters about appointments,
Okay.
expressing their opinions.
Okay. So it's time for public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who has public comment?
I do.
Okay.
I brought a copy from Jen, so this can go in the minutes because obviously my email does not. This is a follow-up to the 2 emails that I sent regarding appointments. First of all, I am here to comment on a recent appointment made by the Board of Selectmen. I'm Judith Reed, 35 Ben Franklin Road, Old Lyme. First, I would like to say it is an honor and a privilege to serve on any board, committee, or commission for the town of Old Lyme and should be treated as such. At the last Selectmen's meeting, a person who is threatening the town, several elected officials, and volunteers in our town with a lawsuit was appointed to a position. I am one of those people named in the potential lawsuit. The town has already spent thousands of dollars in legal fees regarding this dispute and the potential lawsuit. I, for one, feel bullied and threatened and don't think this person should be appointed to serve on any board, committee, or commission until the dispute is settled and/or the threat of the lawsuit is withdrawn. I do not think the decision to appoint this person is in the best interest of the town, and it has already cost the town thousands of dollars. I was told that one reason this person was appointed was because there were no other applicants. Really, is that a reason? What's the urgency? Out of respect for your fellow elected officials, volunteers, and taxpayers, please leave this seat open rather than appointing the person who is threatening many of us with a lawsuit. If you don't have any volunteers, I will submit an application. Also, I have a question. What is the status of the dispute over Chanameg Landing? It's been almost 3 years since that large public meeting when so many people expressed concern and the fact that they would use that landing. I, for one, have been encouraged not to even go near it, along with anyone else who was named in this potential lawsuit. I would appreciate it if you did not move forward with that person's appointment. Thank you. Respectfully submitted.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience? Mr. Barnes?
Yes, thank you. For the record, Michael Barnes, 451 Shore Road. As many of you know, my name is Michael Barnes. I'm a lifelong resident here of Old Lyme, a local business owner, and a father raising my children here in the same community where I was raised. I have served as an alternate on the zoning commission now for 5 years, and I'm here tonight to speak directly about my record and my commitment to this town. There's been some characterization from the chairman that I had stalled the commission's work during the phase 1 zoning rewrite. I want to set the record straight. What has been termed stalling was actually a rigorous line-by-line review of over 30 new terms and definitions introduced into our zoning regulations. As a commission, we are presented with a standard dictated by a hired consultant who does not live in our town. I felt it was my primary responsibility as a member to review every single one of these definitions with a fine-tooth comb. Any change to our town's zoning definitions carries the risk of significant unintended consequences for property owners. I was not in a position to stand by and simply rubber stamp a generic template when I had legitimate concerns that required addressing during our working sessions. The phase 2 zoning rewrite is starting after next month, and my seat at the table is now more important than ever. We only get one good chance to craft these phase 2 regulation changes, which will be considerable modifications to our town's framework for future generations. We need proactive leadership, people who have proven they will show up, engage in discussions, and ensure everything is reviewed properly rather than pushed along for the sake of time constraints. This is a critical time frame that requires active members, not people just sitting and observing, just taking up seats on an important commission. My service to Old Lyme has always been based on merit and community impact, not political labels. I'm an unaffiliated voter, and I've had the privilege of being appointed to this commission both under Democrat and Republican leadership. Furthermore, I am currently the only business owner on the commission who operates properties servicing the general public. And this gives me a real life perspective on how these regulations move from page to practical reality for our residents. In a recent discussion, the chairman, Paul Rosell, suggested that I can't read the room and that the commission should operate as a unified front. I fundamentally disagree with that mindset. The purpose of this commission is to represent diverse voices, not to provide a unified front for the chairman. I have the right and the duty to hone in on issues that others might overlook, and I will not be quiet just because others are ready to move on before the work is done correctly. I've also challenged leadership when I felt we are deviating from legal advice in settled matters behind closed doors. I am a voice of reason with 5 years experience in this commission and 20 years experience in land use. I am not a yes man. I have put in the hours, I have the skin in the game, and I'm committed to ensuring our zoning laws serve our people. And I respectfully request your support for reappointment this evening. Thank you.
Michael, could you just give that to Jen? Makes it much easier for her.
Yes.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to say anything? Okay, before we move on to, sorry, is there anyone online who would like to say anything? You can raise your hand, you can unmute yourself. Is there anyone there? Okay. I think everybody's happy tonight. Not to say anything. All right. Before we move on to approval of minutes, there is one application that I would like to act on, and that is Jackie Miano's. I'd like to add that underneath appointments, make it A at the very end for Soundview Commission. She's an alternate. She forgot to get her application in. She did come in last week and she did talk to Vicky and put it in. So she's an alternate, but we can just take that at the end of. So can I have a motion to add that to the agenda?
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda under new business to add Soundview Commission.
Thank you, John.
I'll say.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, all those in favor of adding Soundview appointment to the calendar, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, we're on.
Before we move on, did we miss a special Board of Selectmen meeting minutes for January 12th?
Did I miss it?
We have 2 for the 5th, 1 for the 16th, 1 for the 20th, and 2 for the 26th, but we had a meeting on the 12th, I believe.
Yeah, I do
Let me
have,
see if I pull it.
I do have the minutes for the 12th here.
Let's see. I may have missed it. I have. Yeah, I just want to see if I put it in. I probably did. And I didn't. Okay. Well, you do have it. Thank you, John. So can we have a motion to add that as well?
I will make a motion to amend the agenda to include the approval of minutes for the special Board of Selectmen meeting on January 12th.
Thank
I'll
you.
second.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. I'll call for vote. All those in favor of adding the special board of selectmen minutes for January 12th to the agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. All right, so let's start with January 5th, Board of Selectmen minutes. Can I have a motion for acceptance of those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the January 5th regular Board of Selectmen meeting minutes.
I'll second. Any discussion? On January 5th, 2026. Anybody? No changes, no changes?
No.
I didn't see any. Okay. All those in favor of accepting the minutes for January 5th, 2026, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion passes. Thank you. Let's move on to January 5th at 12:30. Sorry, we didn't take these in order. But this was a special Board of Selectmen budget review meeting. Can I have a motion to accept these minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the special Board of Selectmen budget review meeting minutes, January 5th, 2026.
Can I have a second? I'll second. Okay. Any discussion?
Yeah, there's just a couple typos in here.
Okay.
The meeting was called to order, not ordered at 12:30,
Thank you.
first line, and under attendance, the following budgets were discussed, not will be.
Okay, thanks. Any others?
No.
Anything, Jim?
No.
Okay. Making with those corrections, Jim, when we approve these minutes, call for a vote. All those in favor of approving these minutes with the two corrections noted, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, next up. January 12th at 12:30 PM. It was a special Board of Selectmen budget review meeting. Okay. Are there any changes? We need a motion. I'll make a motion to approve these minutes.
Second.
Anything that anybody saw out of order?
Did not.
Okay. Call for a vote. All those in favor of accepting the minutes of the January 12th special Board of Selectmen budget review meeting, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Next one is the special Board of Selectmen meeting, January 16th. It was a virtual meeting. It lasted two minutes. Just to approve the warning for the town meeting. Can I have a motion to accept those minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Thank you, John.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes for January 16th at 10:30 AM, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next one was on January 26th. Gotcha. The budget, I mean, these went in that were printed out today. You get them, John? The ones for January 26th, the special.
Yes.
So can we have a motion to approve the special meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the special Board of Selectmen budget hearing minutes from January 26th.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the special Board of Selectmen budget hearing minutes for January 26, 2026, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. The next one is the Board of Selectmen minutes for January 26th at 5:30 PM. I do have a change on here about halfway down under new business, under A. There's a missing heading for Economic Development Commission. which should be just before, there are two motions made for, oh, let's see. Under affordable housing, there's 1, 2, 3 motions, and then economic development should be where Mr. Slampos, select nominated Mr. Brampton and, yeah. In that one place for an alternate 3. Economic. And we appointed Jeff Hartman too.
That's not on there.
I'm not seeing it. No,
Well, we appoint, yeah, it's down
It's on-
towards the
it was on
bottom.
the one I read today.
It's right here. Department.
Oh.
Longfellow. Eileen Mueller.
okay,
So that's
So-
EDC.
are we, is it, but so EDC is down below, but it's not called out
It's not
as
called out.
EDC. Sorry, it's the wrong place, Jen. It's the one underneath conservation.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, economic development should be there as a header. John,
That's above Madeline Longfellow.
yes,
Just below Conservation Commission.
You're saying here.
right, yep. I didn't see anything else. Anything else from anyone else? No? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the minutes with the Economic Development Commission header added to the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular Board of Selectmen meeting of January 26th with the addition of the Economic Development Commission header under new business.
Second,
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Call for a vote. All those in favor of approving the minutes for January 26th, 5:30 regular meeting, please signify by saying aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passed. Thank you both. Okay, moving on to appointments for affordable housing. So last week we had some discussions, and one of the things that Katie Balaga tells boards, and as we go through, don't start naming chairs or anything before appointments are made, because your board could change. And so I had some discussions with some of the members of the Affordable Housing Commission. And I guess there were some changes, that there were some decisions made prior to our appointments. And should we not follow what they've sort of done, then we're going to be at a loss for some chairs for the Affordable Housing Commission. So, what I would like to do is we have one permanent member position left. And I would like to move that we name Sean Mastrioni to that position because of the fact that he and Sheila Ripple will serve as co-chairs.
I will second.
Any further discussion?
I think Sean should be moved up from alternate to the permanent seat.
Okay, all those in favor of moving Sean into the permanent seat with the, wait a minute, I'm just gonna make sure that we get him in the right seat.
Regular,
B,
regular 4.
regular 4, thank you. And that would be a term from 2/1/2023 to 1/31/2026.
No,
Um,
this
no.
is 26.
I'm sorry, that's
This is-
wrong on
This
this.
is 2/29.
Sorry, it's wrong on
The short term.
Thanks for your service, Sean.
Printout. This is a printout from Vicky, so I'm just gonna say she was thinking more about vacation when she sent me this. So, three-year position, 2/1/2026 to 1/31/2029. Signify all those in favor.
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay, now we have alternate one position available. It is a position that has a one-year term left. It's a three-year term and it will renew in 2027. So this would be to fulfill the term ending on 1/31/2027. And we have a recommendation for Mr. Gertie to join the committee from Jen Miller and Fred Fenton. So can we have a motion from Mr. Gertie to take that alternate spot?
Make a motion to nominate Kent Gertie as an alternate for Affordable Housing Commission.
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor of appointing Mr. Gertie to fulfill the alternate one position for the next year, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Moving on, the next one that we're going to do is the Parks and Recreation Commission. We have a number of applications for this. We have 8 applications this year, and 3 of those are returning members. And you have a letter from the current chair's recommendations. So do I have any motions? These are all permanent positions. I will tell you that I had a conversation with Mr. Dunn, and one of the things that we talked about was it's very hard to get new people onto this commission because people tend to stay. And maybe it would be nice if we offered some alternate positions just so that new growth and people were joining on. There are a lot of times when some of these people are not at meetings and due to their schedules between their children, their coaching, etc. So it would behoove us, but this would be an ordinance change, and it would be something we could consider in the future. So, and he was agreeable to that. So, are there any motions for this particular board commission?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to nominate Brendan McKeever.
Do you want to do it as all 3? Because I think their terms, are their terms all the same? I think they are.
They're the same.
They're all the same. Do you want to do it?
I'd rather, there's a lot of applicants. I'd rather
Okay.
do it individually.
So you want to nominate Brendan McKeever? Okay.
I'll second.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Call for a vote. All those in favor of naming Brendan McKeever to a 3-year term on the Parks and Rec Commission, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay, we have 2 more positions to fill. Anybody want to take a stab at one?
I'd like to nominate Ryan Lee for a regular position on Parks and Rec.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Jim, John, thank you both. Any further discussion on that? Brian and Brandon have served for many years on Parks and Rec, and they very committed. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of appointing Ryan Lee to the Park and Rec Commission for a 3-year term signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion passes. Okay, we have 1 more spot. Anybody? Boy. Are we gonna take this one and down and just wait on it for a while?
I'll nominate Bob Dunn for Parks and Rec.
Second.
Okay. Jim, John, thank you both. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay,
I'll raise the elephant in the room, I guess.
no, I'll say it too. You can
Yeah.
raise it and then
Yeah,
I'll tell
I mean,
you.
Bob we've received letters, Bob is a controversial figure. He's served on the board for a long time. He's very dedicated. He's a good man. He's very intelligent. His demeanor could use some work. So this is a hard one because a lot of people would like to make room on that board. And they've expressed that to us from both sides of the aisle. But, you know, Bob has served us very well, and I would hope that if we appoint him, he works on his approach to fellow commissioners and to members of the community.
And I had a conversation with Mr. Dunn and explained the same thing, that we appreciate his service, but I would appreciate it if his decorum at a meeting, that he should not be calling out members of the community who he's upset with, and just deal with it on a one basis. And, made him aware that I would be paying attention. So all those in favor of naming Bob Dunn to another permanent position, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next one up, Planning Commission. We have 3 vacancies for alternates, and we have 3 applications. These are all 1-year terms for alternates. So we could do it as a group because there are only 3.
I'd like to nominate Deb Zarnecki, Chris Kerr, and Harold Thompson to the Planning Commission.
Second.
Jim, John, thank you both. Any further discussion?
Although these are the only 3, I believe these are all excellent candidates for various reasons.
Okay. I agree with that. Anything else? No. All those in favor of naming Deb Zarnecki, Christopher Kerr, and Harold Thompson to a 1-year alternate position on Planning Commission signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay. Now we get to the Water Pollution Control Authority Commission. So I want to say that one of the things to the 3 of you that I think you need to have a joint meeting between the Board of Selectmen and the WPCA, but maybe try to do it at a half an hour before their regular meeting, just to sort of help them set course, because there's going to be a lot of things coming down the pipe for them. And they're going to have to work together to determine the path that we're going to take. And we're going to work with them. Jim, I know you've had extensive history with this commission over the last year and a half, and I know that you've lived the sewer dream. But it's not going away. We voted down the referendum, but they will be coming to us with their plans, and we are going to have to work together to find our route, our path. So I just wanted to let you know that once we get these appointments made, I will alert all of them, not just the people who are appointed, but those on the committee. So do we have any motions for those people that are currently on the committee? We actually have a lot of vacant spots. So
I'd like to nominate Brian Cornell to the regular 7 position in WPCA.
I will second that.
He's the current alternate, correct?
He
He
is.
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's been in almost every single meeting. So he's knowledgeable. Okay, so we have a first and a second. Any other discussion for Brian? Call for a vote. All those in favor of appointing Brian Cornell to a 4-year position on the WPCA as a regular 7, Jen, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion passes. Okay, so that opens up alternate 1 as well. Okay, then we still have regular 8 and regular 9 to fill. And we have other people that have applied. I would like to nominate Susan Way to the regular 8 position for a 4-year term. Susan has a background in public health and has worked with Deep on some of these orders before, so I think she'd be a asset to this committee.
I second.
Okay, Susan. Jim. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Call for a vote. All those in favor of naming Susan Way to the regular 8 position, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay, now we have a regular 9 position.
Nominate John Grande.
Okay,
I'll second.
John, do you know him?
No.
You know. Okay. So all those in favor of any further discussion, Jim?
I do know John Grandy. He's an excellent guy. He'd be excellent on this committee. He's a great neighbor. My only thought is that we have Sally Ann Wojtowicz, who is from Area B. And we have 2 people from Portland Avenue already. That's Dennis and Mary, and John would make a 3rd. And we have Brian, who's from Area B, and Sally would be 2nd from that area. So I could go either way. So I think they'll all be excellent, but I may, only for the purpose of balancing out geographic representation, favor Sally Ann for a regular and John for an alt.
And how are we looking for minority representation?
I think we're
Sorry, I
pretty,
missed that.
Are we all set for minority representation of that?
we
Yes.
are, we have a lot of, well, we have
Susan's a D. John is an R, right?
Yes.
John's
John's
an
an
R.
R.
So we have,
So Randy Nixon's an R, Dennis is an R, Dimitri is an R, John Flick is an R.
Rob is a Democrat,
Rob's a Den,
Mary's a Dem,
Brian's a Den,
and Dennis
Dennis is an R.
are. So we're good. We have, we need 2/3, we can only have 2/3 of a majority on a board that is more than 9 or more than 9. So we have 12 here. We actually can appoint them all. I mean, those that have applied. I don't know the Soundview area and those people that live in it. I mean, I know the people that live there, but I'm not sure. I don't know John, but I would assume that basically anyone that lives anywhere is looking out for everybody. So,
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is that we have people that are living down there that are representing the people that live there. So,
I'd be certainly fine with John being on the regular position. I was
okay,
just bringing that up.
okay, thank you. So all those in favor of appointing John Randy to the regular 9 position for a 4-year term, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you both. All right, now we have 2 alternate positions, and we have 2 people left, Laura Parent and Sally Ann Woltowitz. And these positions are, well, Brian's position would be filling the rest of Brian's position at alternate 1. And I would like to, I'm going to appoint that Laura Parent fill the rest of Brian Cornell's position, expiring on 5/31/2028. It's an alternate position.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of appointing Laura to the alternate one position, expiring 1/31/2028, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. And then we have alternate three. And the alternate three position, which would be expiring in 4 years of 2030. I would motion to appoint Sally Woltowitz. Wojtowitz? W-I, so Wojtowitz. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of naming Sally Wojtowitz to the alternate three position for a 4-year term expiring in 2030, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next up is zoning. And thank you all. We've had a lot of conversations and communication from the zoning chair. So we have 3 alternate positions. We have recommendations from the chair. And we have the first alternate position. Remember, these are all 1-year positions. So
I'd like to nominate Mary Gardner Coppola as an alternate to the zoning commission.
I'll second. Any discussion?
She's a current alternate?
She is.
Yes.
And Mary has been extremely helpful in doing a lot of the press releases and media releases for the zoning commission over the last few months. She spent a lot of her own time doing this and working with Craig Bernardi and Eric Knapp on this. So I think she's an excellent worker, and she really commits to the process. So all those in favor of appointing Mary Gardner Coppola to alternate one position for 1 year signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay, alternate 2 position, another 1-year position.
Nominate Robert Antoniak.
We have a second for Mr. Antonia. There's no second. That motion dies. The next one. Can I have another motion for another one of our applicants, perhaps?
I'd
I'll
like to
nominate Michael Barnes.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
I think Michael's done an excellent job, and I've served on some commissions or committees with Michael, and I think it's very important to have someone on this board that actually has to live and work by regulations and rules. So I'm strongly in favor of him returning.
Any further? No? Hearing none? No further discussion? All those in favor of appointing Michael Peter Barnes to a 1-year position, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion passes. Okay, alternate 3. Alternate 3.
I'd like to nominate Jim Cordo as alternate 3 to the zoning commission.
Okay. Jim Porter. Okay. I'll second. I don't know Mr. Porto, but Jim, do you? I mean, do you have anything to add?
He comes very well recommended by Mike Foliano and several other people. This is the housing as we move forward through the state mandates that are coming down, and HB 802, I think he'd be a valuable conduit between zoning and affordable. I'd also like to say at this time, for the record, Diane Linderman applied to zoning. Now Diane won her election for the Board of Finance, but couldn't take her seat because of minority representation. And in this situation, though I'd like to appoint her, we would have to remove Mary Gardner Coppola, who's the current alternate, if Diane was appointed, again, because of minority representation. So I really hope that because she won her election soundly, that Diane Linderman can be allowed to serve somewhere in this town. That being said, I am supporting Jim Corda for the third alternate.
Well, I think Jim makes a good point by allowing people to serve. And this is a good example because Mr. Cordo is already serving on affordable housing. And we have other people that have applied and would like to serve the town, and having someone on two different commissions when we could open up a seat here under zoning to include someone else would be something that I would be in favor of.
Okay, is there anything else? I will point out that this evening we voted to put Sean on, and Sean sits on two committees too,
And Mike Barnes as well.
and Mike Barnes as well. So we've got a lot of people who do double duty, but I do feel that Jim Porter would be a great conduit between affordable housing. It's a one-year position, and I don't see a problem with that. It's an alternate position. Although I do expect alternates to show up to meetings because you need to know what's going on so that if you have to vote, you know what's been said. Okay, so any other further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of naming Jim Porto as the third alternate to the zoning commission, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I'll abstain.
Okay. All right, so then we added Jackie Miano. I do have her application if you guys would like to see it.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Congratulations, Michael. Jackie. Here's her application, just so you have it. So, I would like to, I think this is a 1 year? I think they're 1 year. I think it's a 1 year position. Katie, you're online. Can you just check quickly? But I believe the Sound View Commission members are 1 year position? Or is it two for
No.
alternate?
Oh, yeah, they're 1 year. Sure.
I think they're one.
126 to 131-27.
Yeah, it's a 1 year. Jim found it. Never mind.
That
Okay,
is correct.
thank you. All right. I'd like to appoint, make a motion to appoint Jacqueline Mariana to her alternate seat back on the Sound View Commission for the following year. Please, if,
Second.
second, thank you, John. Okay. All those in favor of appointing Jacqueline?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Great. All right. Now we're on to appropriation request. And of course, mine are not where I got to be. That's okay. You guys have yours. I don't find them. Stuck to a paper clip, I'm sure. And- Yeah. I took him out to talk to somebody about him. No, I don't have him. That's okay. You guys have one, right? And we have people here to talk about him. So first up is America 250. And by the way, so Cheryl, would you like to come up and just run us through, or you want to just sit there and answer questions if we have them?
You should come to the table for the sound.
Jen would like you to come for the sound. Do you have this in front of you?
No.
Okay.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Cheryl, I know you have it in front of you. Unfortunately, for some reason, I did not bring my packet, and I don't know why. So I'm going to ask you to walk us through it just really quickly. I did send this to John and to Jim last week so that they'd be updated. Basically, America 250 is our celebration of the 250th anniversary. Cheryl and her committee have been busy planning activities, and they have now figured out a budget. Last year at budget time, she did not know what would be needed. So we put in $5,000, and now they're planning many things, one of which is a townwide picnic on July 5th. And some of this funding would be for the picnic and all of its special activities that go with it. Do you want to just briefly tell us how much money you need?
Okay, our total planned budget for both this year into fiscal 26-27, which is when July falls, is a total budget of 22,400. We have in our current fiscal year budget $5,000. We are requesting for our 26-27 fiscal budget $5,000. And that leaves us with an appropriation request of $12,400. This would cover a number of activities and events for the community for America 250. It's a one-time celebration, and it would be remembered in the future, just as the bicentennial is remembered today. So it includes a townwide picnic on July 5th, as Martha said. We have subcategories such as traffic control, parking attendance, a stage, live entertainment, music, the basics like porta potties, advertising, event signage. We also have lectures and speakers planned throughout the remainder of the America 250 period, printing of a commemorative booklet, a photo contest that will soon be announced, banners for town hall. We hope to begin a community quilting
Project.
program throughout the rest of this year, and miscellaneous items such as a time capsule for this summer.
Okay. So basically, because of the way it falls, she needs to be able to sign up contracts, bands, et cetera, and provide them. And this $12,400 would go before the Board of Finance tomorrow night as a special appropriation. It does not need to go to a town meeting. It's under $20,000. And we just need to approve it to go to the Board of Finance. So could I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve $12,400 for the America 250 committee.
Second.
Thank you both. Any further discussion?
Looking forward to the time capsule.
You're gonna bury it.
Go in your attic.
I'm gonna think about what to put in it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd just like to thank Cheryl for I've seen this up close, how much work she's put into this, and it's a lot of work. And she's been herding us cats and keeping everyone on task. And it's a huge task, big lift, and she's really taken it on.
And I think the other thing is you'd love a few more people to join the committee because many hands make light work.
Absolutely. And if we have our full budget, or once we know where the Board of Finance comes out tomorrow night, then we can have specific activities or things that we need people to work on. We've been a little reticent to announce things until we know what our budget is.
Okay.
Also, the town picnic, which is going to be a big budget item, coordinates with the national potluck. So
Yes.
that's part of the whole national America 250 thing.
Okay. Do we have a motion, correct? And we have a second, and no further discussion. All those in favor of moving the appropriations request for $12,400 from the America 250 committee to the Board of Finance signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay.
Thank you.
Now we have our facilities director here in the back of the room. Mr. Olson is here, and the first thing up is a request for funding to fix the fence at the senior center. I know that Eric has, I've talked about this. This is the fencing that goes around the garbage cans. And during a recent storm, the latch had not been properly latched. And the doors went woo and cannot be repaired. So you have a request for
$2,622.82.
262, what is it?
2622.82.
282. I give you the 2 cents, but there's penny shortage. Okay. So he has received a quote from the fence company. And we would like to move this forward to the Board of Finance for tomorrow night as well. There may be some discussion at Board of Finance as to whether it can, because you and I talked about the fact there was some funding possibly in this account. There might be
Yeah,
some.
one of our building funds that we have.
And we'll discuss that with them tomorrow night, if they choose to take it out of there or if they choose to make it as a separate appropriation.
That includes labor.
Yeah, that's everything. It's labor install. So it's a better hinges, better latching than what was installed when it was built, when they did the renovation.
Does it include training on how to lock it?
Probably not, but I'll do what I did down here and put up some signage on it and how to properly secure it.
All right.
Eric, who's the quote from?
Arrow fence. We used them. Same thing happened to the one here in the back years ago. And they came in and that gate is working. So it hasn't sagged, it hasn't done anything. So happy with their work. They're out of East Hampton, Connecticut.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request for funding to fix the fence at the senior center for $2,622.82.
I'll second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the allocation to move to the Board of Finance to fix the fence at the senior center for I'll just say, as stated by Jim, signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Next one is also Eric, White Sand Beach gazebo. We did go out to bid for the White Sand Beach gazebo. Where do we have 4 bids? 5 bids?
We had 5 bids.
5 bids. And there was quite the range. And it's Weiss Construction.
Weiss Construction out of Norwich. They were the apparent low bidder.
And they were the apparent low bidder. They worked with us to bring it down even further.
Yeah.
Because there were some things that we felt like Public Works could do. The breakdown of the current gazebo and
That was
all
one
that
of them.
and that was savings of like $20,000. So we felt that that was an appropriate use of our Public Works Department, and not to mention it would be a little bit of fun for them as well. Taking something down instead of putting something up. Eric has worked really hard with Weiss Construction and Shore Engineering to come up with something that would fall within our range, keeping it under the 20,000. And we are, although we've had an appropriation, this is just the cost of doing business. So you want to give any more information that I didn't?
No, I mean, we've spent to date 15,000 on all the engineering, which was required by DEEP. All of that work. And we had an estimate. This is going back 2 years ago is when we started putting away money. So, if we had a crystal ball 2 years ago, maybe we would have been a little bit better. But talking with the low bidder and the engineering firm, they were, willing to work with us on some stuff, as well as cut down on, a little bit of their overhead, I guess, to get to a point where if we can have the Board of Finance as well as you guys approve $19,999, that will give us the money that we need. I did speak with the engineer today just to ask about any unforeseens. We're not renovating a building. The only unforeseen would be driving the 4 steel beams into, down into the sand But we did do borings and they did not come across anything that they feel would be, an issue. But that's the only place we would see where, they were driving it down and that happened to be a boulder in a way, but he doesn't, what they found, he doesn't anticipate that happening. So I think, that's what we would need to get the project done.
How many feet down are they going to go?
Roughly 30 feet that they have to drive them down.
Trying to hit the bedrock.
No, it's just, again, it's a calculation of, it's not really this, there's really no weight, it's the lateral movement. So that's why in order for the steel not to bend, it has to be that,
Anchoring.
far down. So it's not like we're putting a heavy structure on it, that's why they have to get so deep. It's more of the wind lateral load. So unfortunately,
Did we get this quote in our email? I didn't see it.
I could have sworn I sent you the two from him put together in an email.
Yeah, I just may have missed it.
You go from?
I don't recall seeing numbers on it. Was it
It was
when-
Friday,
Friday?
Thursday, Friday. I sent it out.
and I have one copy here if you wanted to look at it.
Yeah,
while
why
you're
don't you just pass
discussing it.
that around so that they see what
So we
we're
know
working with.
This is my working copy, but the yellow column is where we're, coming across.
Yeah, no, I think I got this. So total would be like 194.
Yeah, down at the last two there, just under 195. I know.
For a gazebo. Jim,
Yeah, read it, please, right now.
Yes.
So I think one of the things that I would like to say is last year Board of Finance, although I know there was a lot of discussion about the cost of replacing it. There were some Board of Finance members on both sides of the aisle who said, we've been talking about doing this for years. It needs to get done. And every time you move it out another year, it just gets more expensive. So if this lasts for as long as Chalker Beach has over in Saybrook, or as long as the one we have right now, we're golden. This is a good investment. So,
And John, I don't know, since when we started this, you weren't on the board, but if we just wanted, I brought some plans, just. Gonna look like. That rendering, but. Concrete, this is all concrete, easy to clean off with all the sand. These are wrapped in PVC for, low maintenance. It's all heavy timber. This is heavy timber for the load, so we didn't have to put more posts in. And then they carried it, right underneath there. So at the end of the day, it's gonna look very nice, but also serve a nice purpose and give people nice space.
and what's the size comparison to what's there?
So what you see here, concrete is the same dimensions. as what's
Same
down
footprint?
here, 12 by 24, I believe. And it's as low as it can possibly be. We have to be, the bottom of the beam has to be 15 feet from sea level. The sand right now is at 4, elevation 4. So that's, you're talking about 11 feet up. And then the roof pitch is as low as possible, but we did go through zoning and had a special permit already approved. The last step is the building permit, which, I was waiting until we get the appropriation. That won't be, there'll be no issues there, but we did go through the whole CAM process, so that's all taken care of.
we had a meeting, I think it was about 2 weeks ago with Weiss, and they said that they would probably do the beams, but drop the beams sooner than later.
Yeah.
The weather gets a little warmer.
We want it done by April 30th is what the stipulation was, and that gives us, 2 weeks leeway or 3 weeks before, Memorial Day and all the traffic that'll be done, so.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor to move the request for appropriation of $19,999 for the White Sand Beach gazebo, forward to the Board of Finance. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
I don't think we have a
Yeah,
motion.
have a motion.
I'll make the
I'm sorry.
motion to approve
Sorry,
$19,999 for the White Sands Beach gazebo.
I'll second. Sorry, my chicken scratch was down. Okay, we have a motion to approve $19,999 to move it towards the Board of Finance for approval for the White Sand Beach gazebo appropriation. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay. Moving on to our final budget review. So this is the time and Anita has updated us on the budget sheets that we had been working off of for the last few weeks. Sean, if you and Sheila would just figure out a time that we can talk, that'd be great. Yeah. As we go through, there are, no real major changes, but just to go through, check if you see anything. Anita is online, so if there's any questions, we can ask her. Anita, you might want to unmute yourself now, just in case we have questions.
Okay,
What I'd like to do is go through the budget, and we're not going to approve this. And this is my thinking, and you can tell me if you think it's wrong. But, ideally, what we would do is that we are moving the budget forward to the Board of Finance with our approval, but we understand that there could be tweaks. Well, they're gonna make cuts, guaranteed. They always do. But there could be tweaks because we're going out to bid with some projects, things are gonna change. And they're very accommodating, understanding that as we get more information in, they may change, but we try to do it prior to the week of the Board of Finance meeting so that they have the most updated information as they go forward. But, so if you could just do a little glance down the run. The salary committee has met. And Anita, you added in salaries, correct?
I
No,
added in an estimate at the bottom because it has not been approved yet by the salary. No one said it was approved. We met.
I would say, well, they didn't make a motion, but that's kind of the way they do it. But
I will verify, but there's an estimated amount on the last page.
Yep.
And it excluded some stuff that was already, certain clerks that were already put in. But there was an estimate to bring what the total budget would be.
so the budget total on the last page, on page 12, is the one that you want us to refer to? Is that correct? Budget total
No,
in
that's what I'm
orange?
saying. That's the estimate salaries that is not included in each department left that would bring the budget whole.
But Anita, that is the budget. It is not just the salary line. It is the entire budget estimated with the salaries that you put into place. Correct?
Yes, on the last page, if you see, there's a 2 million number. Right.
I am seeing, we're looking at our budget sheets, not the capital.
Right.
So is it on the capital,
Now it's on the budget sheet.
page 12?
It's on page 12. And if you look all the way down under, one second, let me get there. If you look under where it says regional school district,
Yeah.
you see a line that says other
Mm-hmm.
and 2855000.
Yes.
That's it. That the bottom says estimate includes one new police and one new public works.
Right, okay. But that's the total budget, I believe, or is that just salaries, Anita?
That's salaries that are not included above.
Okay,
And then the total budget line would be right underneath it, what budget total comes to.
okay,
And the budget totals, Anita, that includes salaries, is that correct?
An estimated, yes,
That's our complete budget, thank you.
yes.
so an increase of 6%, which does include the school budget, as based on what the Board of Education presented. They will not approve it till their regular meeting in February. They did not have a meeting scheduled for this week. They had a meeting on the books if they wanted it for Wednesday night, but they chose not to do it. So it'll be their regular meeting that they'll pass that. If they made any tweaks or whatever, but that's what they came in at a 4.61 budget. And then, so Anita also provided with us a second sheet, which is just the capital general fund budget and capital projects funds. And as you can see, we have made an attempt to go out to 34, 35, 30, well, actually 35, 36, trying to get a look at 10-year totals. This is a draft, so we're not gonna, but we have done a really, we feel, Anita, the departments, they have put together everything that they could possibly think of. And even Public Works came in today with a few changes, which I believe are on this sheet, right, Anita?
Yes,
She put those into play as well. So Anita, on the second sheet, capital general fund budget and capital project funds, I'm looking
Okay.
on page 1, under
Okay.
Public Works.
I just gotta open that.
That's okay. I might be missing this, but,
On page. Okay, Public Works, yes.
oh, I see it. I see it. Never mind. It's on page 3. The vehicles are on page 3.
Right, because they get transferred out to Fund 31, the money.
Got it. Okay. So basically Ed is trying to replace the plows each year, getting one new plow to put on the trucks. Now that we've got the stainless steel bodies and everything is up and running, we'd like to replace them. You may have seen our new truck that came in just in time for Benjamin. And they took one of the plows that we had and put it on. So do you want to go through this department by department? Do you want to look at it overall? How would you guys like to take this into play?
We can, I mean, if you guys have the patience for it, we can go through it piece by piece. I just have a general question. So with our capital budget, we look at the last page, 26, 27, total all entries, 3,452,000. Now, Anita, that's our complete capital budget, correct?
The 3 million, yes.
Okay, and where is that reflected in the overall budget? Is that a sum
Under-
of different?
Right, if you see it, it says total transfers. Total transfers means it goes into them other funds that I report out to the Board of Finance, and that was Eric was speaking of before. Under the general fund, you'll see it under transfers out. That is a 2,722,900. And then in the bottom of the budget sheets where it says capital, that is
Right.
the 734 355.
And where was that transfers out? I see the
Transfers out.
734.
Transfers out, I believe it's like in the middle. 1 second.
It's right here. Total transfers
Okay.
out.
Yeah.
I think it's right here. Hold on, where'd you go? No, you're on, it's the other page. Total transfers out.
Right.
Yes.
Um,
I think that goes on to,
yeah, where does that get included in this budget? That's the question.
so. Hold on. Not my transfers, no, it's transfer station, hold on. Yeah, oh, right here, transfers out,
Okay,
this number should match what you have on that other sheet.
thank you.
It's on page, John, it's on page 10. Of capital at the bottom, you can, or the regular budget, you'll see the transfers out. Anita, where did we add the possible grant writer? With the stipend position of like $2,000 to $3,000 for the year. With
Was
some-
that? 1 second, I thought that was,
I thought it was going in the selectman's office budget, but
that's
could
what
be.
I, stipend position coordinator, 3-year certificate under sustainable line. Is it that one?
No, but that's okay.
Oh, it says
That's-
3-year
it's-
certification. It says stipend position coordinator in the notes.
Right, but we also talked about a grant writer. The sustainable one was going to do the updates. And that was under sustainable old line, which is in my budget. But there was also, Fred Behringer had brought up the possibility of hiring a grant writer on an, to help create grants and then use an incentive program. But that's one of the things that the Board of Finance can tinker with, because
can-
we'll have.
I can
we'll
add
have
it.
to- We can put it in as a request, but they're the ones that had mentioned it. That, the grant writer would, do you both remember this?
Yes,
Okay, it was upstairs in the mess room.
That was the one that
yeah.
I had to leave for another meeting. So I
Yeah,
wasn't,
they decided that it would be a good idea if we could do some type of an incentive program. Jim had been approached by somebody from East Lyme to share, but that would put that in direct conflict between two towns, probably going for the same, grants. So we thought of hiring a grant writer, and Fred brought up that we could use an incentive, meaning it would be a stipend to get going, but if you get a grant for the town that you're saving the town money, that they would get a portion of it. But this would have to be worked out with the salary committee a little bit, and also
how-
the Board of Finance.
and
so
how much
we'll-
would you like?
Well, I think that we talked about, would you say it was like 3,000, 3, 4?
it was in that range.
It was somewhere in the 3,000 to 4,000 range as a stipend, but with the ability to earn based on whatever grants they achieve.
I can add it to that bottom number, the 3, and then put it on the salary committee's spreadsheet.
That would be fine.
Okay.
The details would have to be worked out.
Okay.
With HR and how we go about hiring and keeping track of it, et cetera. It wouldn't be something that would necessarily jump into play right away. But something to consider. because it is an area where we could use some additional help.
So Anita, I'm looking at minus Regional School District 18.
Yes,
Our town budget has gone from 13,877,602 to 15,142,008. Does that sound correct or in the ballpark?
for the regional school, where, I'm sorry,
Well, our budget less the regional school. So take out the schools, the part of the budget that we have control over has gone from 13,877,602 to 15,142,008.
oh, 1 second.
Does that sound correct?
Let me just do this. 15,145,009, because they just added the 3,000 in for the grant writer.
Okay.
Oh, no, so that's why I'm just doing it on the spreadsheet, that's why. And last year was 13,877,602.
Right. Believe so. Just want to make sure I'm reading this correctly.
An increase of 1,267,407. Oh, wait, that didn't.
One of the things that we did today is we did add into Halls Road. We had received a proposal from our engineers to take us from where we are now through the preliminary design phase, getting us to permanent design 90%, going out to bid, working, and their proposal was 173. We would have to go out to request for other proposals because it's over 20,000. But we put in, BJ was here, and we put in 200,000 into the Halls Road because we know that we're going to need some additional money for construction. The $800,000 grant most likely will not be enough for construction. And also to include like street lighting and things like that, benches, whatever. So we went from 173 to 200 and added it in for next year to go on the Halls Road special account. And then Board of Finance will have to decide how they want to do that. And in the meantime, we can put together the proposal and go out and request other proposals from other engineering firms.
I think we can also phase it. I mean, at Soundview, we did 2 separate projects under 2 separate grants.
Well, I
Yeah.
think we have some opportunities. In fact, a grant just came across my desk the other day for lighting and I'll look at that and give it some consideration, but we don't really have they're gonna want more of an idea of how much we'd like to spend and what we're spending it on. So I know we have some ideas that were discussed and possibly included in the Halls Road Improvement Committee, but I don't know if that'll be the same thing that this new committee will come up with. We'll certainly use it as a base of a foundation to start with,
Yeah, I think
I would hope.
we can talk about that during the
Yeah.
charge, probably it's most appropriate, but I think,
John, do you have any feelings on that? I mean, we're just trying, the Board of Finance said, let's put together a budget where we start to actually look at what we want to do and how we move it forward. So that's why we put some more money in. Do you have any thoughts?
No, I mean, the grant's not going to cover the full expenditure, so we should be looking at it.
Right.
And Jim, you said 9%?
yeah,
Yes. I got the same number, and a lot of it accounts, if you look under transfer out, that's an increase of $1 million. Over what was last year.
so it's mostly capital that's driving this.
Yes.
Do we have a sense? I mean, I've just seen this full capital budget today. Do we have a sense of what the big tickets were this year.
Yeah,
Park and Rec is requesting 455. They want 400,000 for dredging of Haynes Park and engineering cost of 50,000.
that's a 2 year. Did they put that in over 2 years? Yes?
No, they put it all in for one, the paper I received from them. They wanted it for this year.
Their original.
Last year we had it spread over 2 years. This year they requested it now, just 1 year.
I understand that, but the quote that they received was 900,000.
Oh,
So
I
I'm
just know
trying-
I got a paper that said 400,000 that they were requesting for capital. Then
1,200, wait. 120,000?
400,000.
Okay, 400,000.
The other is the paving of the bus barn. That's $237,000.
And that, we have the bus barn account, but it's not gonna cover that,
Correct,
correct?
correct.
I put in, um. So the quote, I do see the quote for MS4 stormwater. But that quote really that quote had some additional years. It
Oh, the
wasn't all-
17 or the 4 was which one?
The 17660.
Okay,
I believe that was over a number of years, not just all in 1 year. So basically our MS4 report is now coming finally. We posted on our website this year, but over the last 2 years, I've noticed that this is something that's continually worked on. So I talked to Will Thomas at Jacobson's and said, when does this end? And he goes, it never ends. As soon as you get out your report now, he said, we start on the next one for 5 years. And I said, so send me a proposal. So it is the backup documentation in the budget book. And I do believe I sent that to you, Anita, but I know I did, but
that's
I thought that it, in his
okay.
proposal, he broke it apart into years. So
Okay,
we'll
let
just
me
have to look at that again. Because I don't think it's all one lump sum. It's not one lump sum.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I will check just to make sure because I don't believe that's possibly enough, but we'll check tomorrow. Like I said, these little tiny things tweak here and there as we go through and, I also don't see the doubles. Oh, Steph hasn't given you the quotes for the steamer.
No, I have no quotes for a steamer.
Eric did go out to get quotes for the carpet replacement of town hall for next year. And then we'd be doing the floors, the wooden floors upstairs. We've already done the floors in Michelle's office. And that would be for the floors upstairs in the hallway. Sorry for the quietness, we're just all reading.
Okay.
Um.
Could we, refresh our memories on dredging of Haynes Park? I thought, and we did have a conversation about it. There was a question of perhaps doing environmental assessment to see if that was the wisest idea.
That would be part of this because they
Mhm.
can't do the dredging until they do an environmental study.
Right.
And then they would have to go out and get quotes for dredging.
Mhm.
So to me, they need to spend a year doing some environmental stuff to get prepared. But on one hand, the Board of Finance likes to add a little to the pot every year so that we're not taking the entire cost. I know that they were floored when they got the quote for 900,000 because somebody, of course, over on Boston Post Road said, oh, you can do it for like 25,000. And then when they got the 900 quote, they were like, whoa. But it is a huge process because they have to take it out of the lake. Then they have to leave it on pallets and let it drain. And then once it's dried, they have to cart it away.
Yeah.
And I just read something in the New London Day, like carting something away for, I think it was some soil contamination in New London. It's the price has increased by 400,000 because they have to go to upstate New York for it.
Yeah.
So we don't know what they're going to find in the environmental study. So I think that their 400 is very low to think that they're going to get this done for 400,000. Unless we're all going down with shovels. I don't think that's gonna happen. So
Yeah, my,
that's why when we get to Board of Finance, Jim, these are things that come up and they're there and they're presenting.
Mhm.
It's our point to send this and say, yeah, we blessed this so far. If we choose to take something out now, we can. If we want to decrease it, I'd like to see more of the capital budget being sort of spread out over a number of years instead of every request being all in next year. I just don't think it's kind of like we need to save and spend. I know sometimes we'll pay a little heftier price, but I think it has to be spread out over a number of years. So we can certainly make any recommendations that we want. I think that Frank Pappalardo's done a good one to break out the foot wash and the possible restroom facilities for over 3 years.
which has been pushed back for
Yes,
about a decade now.
right. And he's got you'll see, he put in the engineering study for next year, along with putting some money aside for building construction. Those are the types of things we should be doing. Because during the engineering study, we're gonna find out what is possible, and that could change the numbers in the next preceding years.
Yep.
You'll notice, this is a very small thing, but our restoration and maintenance, one of the things that Jeff Cooley is doing for us this year is using $1,000 for maintenance. He did go through, there was no artwork that needed to be really done. So what we're using is that $1,000 is to start the appraisal process because these paintings in this building have not been appraised for Kerma in a number of years. So we're gonna use, he'll do, I think he said he's going to do the oldest paintings first. Those that probably have the most value. And then next year he'll take his, other money and get it done. So we'll probably that's probably like over what it needs to be because of the fact that we're using 1,000 from this year, but we'll work it out. I'll go campaign.
Well, I think we've been a little lackadaisical with some of the artwork here because it's almost like museum quality. Well, it is. A lot
It
of
is
these
museum
paintings are
quality.
museum quality, so that's for our posterity, as well as for our enjoyment, but it's something that we need to be good stewards of,
Sure.
So I think it's a good expenditure. It's not huge. budget
No, it's
item.
not. Any other questions that you throw off? I mean, they are gonna ask me tomorrow night if we agree with what we see.
One couple things,
We don't have to do capital, but we should do the well,
two things jumped out at me on the regular budget.
yep.
One, I think under,
Can you tell us the page?
so, it will be on page 1,
Yep. Under,
under Shoreline Gateway.
yep,
We've already pulled that budget back considerably, but I think because there's no great initiative, I think $1,000 is a little much for mailings and informational materials, so I pulled it back to 500. That'd be my recommendation.
okay, so Anita, did you see it under Selectmen's Office Shoreline Gateway?
Yes. 500?
Take it to 500?
And I'd like to discuss under harbor management because their budget's been escalating a lot and they have a lot of good things they're doing.
Yep, can you just give us a page? Oh, I see it, never mind, page
And-
4. Great.
And town dock hydrographic study, I think, is very important. I would not fund the other 4 Mile River study at this point because I think that should be the state's responsibility. They have a boat launch down there. They have a facility down there. And I would be in favor of doing the town dock study. But the 4 Mile River study was added this year, and I think we should hold off on that in hopes or to open discussions with Deep for their future strategies down there.
So I believe this has to do with their 2 grants. One is for the town dock,
Right.
which I believe is a $50,000 or $55,000 grant.
Mhm.
And they'll have to do the hydrographic study to get that
Right.
in.
Yeah, we need that.
Yep. And then I thought the other smaller grant had something to do with the 4 Mile River. Do you remember, John, because they were talking, it's on Terry, you see if I got my notes from the other day, and just. The vessel charter, $7,000 is the ship grant that they have to pay. Anita, do you remember?
I'm looking right now.
Thank you. Something
Now
to
they
do.
just have, all they have down is hydrographic surveys, $10,000. I don't have, on their backup paperwork, it doesn't say for which ones. But let me go see,
Right.
they sent me an email.
I have the grant is 55. As POB, maintenance, 10, buoys are 1,000, maintenance is 1,000, Pilgrim Patrol 2,000. I wish there was another way to handle, John, I know you were at Pilgrim's Landing 1 or 2 nights too, right?
Yes.
And I was there for a couple of nights, but I wish they could find a different way to alleviate that situation. And one of them, the things that really bothers me is the number of companies that are taking tours and telling them, everyone, that they have parking available at Pilgrim's Landing, and they all show up in, 20 cars.
There could be an ordinance.
And they are asking for money for Horse Neck Creek dock. I don't know if the survey
Right.
had to do with that one.
I don't believe so.
No,
I believe they're,
They already have a survey for that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I believe the
Okay.
survey was,
because they got,
the additional monies that they asked for this year were for 4 Mile River.
Okay.
Because they had town dock and capital, and that was being transferred to our operating, which I agree with. And that's necessary for town dock because of the grant and the work that's already underway. The other one, I think, is a new initiative. And
Correct.
I would pump the brakes on that one and
Well, wait a
open a
minute.
discussion with the state.
I know that the state, is this part with the 4 Mile River though, is part of the sand relocation project?
Mhm.
So we wouldn't be paying,
Oh, that's what it was.
we won't be paying for the sand to be relocated because the state will come in and take it.
But we're paying for the survey.
But the survey is like $5,000 because the state wants to make sure it's compatible with their sand. They don't believe it's necessarily their sand that's whipping around the corner. So,
I think
so
that's
you
a
have-
state. If the silting of the harbor of 4 Mile River is the issue, then I think it's a state liability. I think they're the ones that should be doing this.
I just look at it as if we're putting in $5,000 for the study, but they're going to do $100,000 worth of dredging and taking away our sand. It's a small price to pay to get rid of it. I mean, it's, again, it's one of those things that they're going to be questioned completely on by,
I know when the state did dredging in the past, they only went up to a certain
point.
point, and I don't know how they decide what that demarcation line is, but they're there. So, this may be beyond what they would normally do. So to Martha's point, if we can get $100,000 worth of work, 5,000, then, and that it's not something that the state will do, then yeah, again, let the Board of Finance question them if they need more details.
And I seem to remember Terry saying something about the train bridge. It ends at the train bridge.
Yeah, the last time they dredged, I had a boat at Ragged Rock and they did not go up the creek. They ended at the mouth. So there's a limit to how far up a waterway they're gonna go.
Do you remember how long ago that was?
Oh, that was probably 6 years ago, 6, 7 years ago.
So in 6 years, it silted back in.
Well, I'm just.
Yeah.
I don't remember what they did for 4 Mile, but I mean, I know
Okay.
they did several areas, but they only go so up so far.
Well, if we could make a note that a selectman questioned the second
Okay.
survey.
Sure,
And then
sure.
Board of Finance
And you can
either,
certainly dial in the night that we do that.
Yeah.
That budget and listen in and offer your comments. Both of you can. I mean. If you'd like to come and join us on Tuesday nights from 7 till 11 or whatever. Okay, so. With the change that Jim suggested, just minor, and I'm sure they're gonna tell me to go back and find other cuts.
Yep.
Which is fine, we can do it. We've done it before, but this is a pretty bare bones as far as town hall is concerned. This is pretty bare bones. We really stuck to our changes. I mean, at my over budget, I went from 419 to 123. And you just took another 500 out of it.
I'm just looking for,
I know. Actually, that doesn't have the salaries in there, so I can't say that. So. Because the salary lines aren't filled in. Okay, so how do we want to go about this? Because we got to move on. We have one more thing on our agenda.
Yep.
And then Elizabeth's getting tired. So,
Outlast the press. Um,
we still have our other meetings that we can come in and make a change. Remember, tomorrow night, they're just meeting on a certain part of the budget. I don't have it in front of me, but I know it's the senior center, park and rec, the live.
Social services, other associations, nonprofits, beach, abatements, and park and rec.
So that's all they're doing tomorrow night.
yeah, I mean, the difficulty is that, we've gone through this budget line by line over the last month,
Yes.
and everything is reasonable and everything has been justified by all the heads of all the departments. And there's nothing that seems like waste or, folly. But
Except
still,
for Michaela's budget that you just ripped.
I just cut my own wife's budget, so I'm gonna catch hell when I get home, but still, I mean, our budget is going up by $1.2 million, so wherever we can look to see if we can take it down a little bit,
Well,
kind of our job.
remember too, that we have a new public works contract. We've
Mhm.
added 2 new employees if
Mhm.
we end up hiring them.
And I support that. I support an additional
Yeah.
police officer. I support an additional public works
So,
position, so.
and we have a new resident state trooper
Mhm.
who would like some things that he would like. So it's a big year there as well.
Yeah.
It's 2. And we still haven't heard from state, although we continue to ask whether or not we'll be doing our, who's going to host our data. It always comes right down to like April, May,
Good luck
when
with
they
that.
give us, they'll give us the information, but it takes a while. So I would just say that we bless this as it is and understand that additional cuts or questions may be asked.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've spent a lot of time on it, so I mean, I'm fine with moving it ahead.
Same.
Okay, so can I have a motion that we're going to move this ahead with Jim's $500 deduction? With our blessing, and we'll continue to work on it throughout the season as if they ask us to do so.
Thank you.
So can I have that motion?
I'll make a motion to move this budget to the Board of Finance.
Second,
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none. Call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
aye,
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay, we have 2
Thank
quick drafts. You're welcome. Here's 2 quick drafts. I did print them out bigger, just in case if there were changes that had to be made that we could think. I just like to edit, but, have you both had a chance to read these drafts?
yes,
I tried to keep them pretty simple. Certainly we can add bullet points and things like that as we meet with them, as we get started, but I'd like to get this going so that we could add this to the committees and ask people to advertise it in my newsletter this week to say, we're ready for people to apply for Halls Road. So are there any changes here that you'd like to make?
I would like to specifically tie this committee to the grant, to make it a grant committee the same way the Soundview committees were. They were formed around specific grants and they sunsetted when the grant was completed and work was completed.
I think that's an excellent idea.
So would you like to add a sentence stating?
Yeah, I would say,
This is always, these committees under the Selectmen's office are only for the life of the project. They're
Right.
always that.
I
Right.
just, in the charge, I would say something like the Halls Road Sidewalk Committee will help coordinate and administer DOT CCG grant for Halls Road sidewalks.
Committee will help
Hmm.
to administer
coordinate and
I wouldn't
coordinate.
say
and-
help. Preventive,
Will coordinate and administer
coordinate,
the $800,000 DOT CCG grant to construct sidewalks along Halls Road. Provide safe and accessible pedestrian access. And recommend related landscape and recommend landscape and other related improvements. Some of that will include, could be bump outs, it could be park bench, could be, lighting. We had elements of that in Soundview
mhm,
that fell under the grant and are paid for. And also allows them, like it allowed us when we had excess money at the end of our project to do, little things.
right, to provide safe access, provide lighting, benches. What was the other thing?
I would just say related landscape and other improvements.
Okay.
To leave it open,
That fall under the grant.
that fall under the grant.
Yes.
I would tie this specifically to the grant.
Well, the grant is for construction of sidewalks, so
Well,
it's not including lighting and benches.
it does. It includes related landscaping. So, that's the CCG grants are kind of like a streetscape improvement
Mhm.
overall. So it would allow them, if that was part of it, to work on that.
Okay.
But it would be within the parameters of the sidewalk. Wouldn't be outside of the project area.
So I'm gonna say that related to the sidewalk project.
Yeah.
Okay. So so you want me to add this to what we have or replace it?
What I would replace is work together using our current draft design. I would take that out
Okay,
and I would,
but you realize that'll cost us more money. Because BSC has already done a draft design.
oh yeah, I mean, they can use the draft design. It's just,
Okay.
I would just say, will help coordinate and administer
Okay,
the
Got
$800,000 DOT CCG grant for Halls Road to provide safe, accessible pedestrian access and related landscape. And I'm sorry, and landscape and related improvements allowable under the grant.
okay. You didn't have to take that out, did you?
I scrawled it. I can send it.
Yeah,
If you-
send it
if you-
to us.
If you
No,
agree with the
I agree
Send
with
it.
it. I just want it,
Yeah.
I could scribble it here, but I'm gonna get something, I'm gonna be off on something that you'd like to include. And everything that you said, I agree with. I think John does too. It's not, so you're a great wordsmither, and if you want to do it, I'm happy to.
Yeah, I can send
I
it.
sort of had hoped people would jump in over the weekend and say, change this, change that. So
Yeah, sorry, let's see. Yeah.
I've read her draft, but. Okay, so, how are we gonna work this? Are we gonna feel safe saying that Jim's gonna draft it and we're gonna approve it ahead of time with basically base what he said on so that we can get this up on Friday? Or do we have a special meeting for 5 minutes to approve it once it's done? How do you want to play it?
Well, I don't want to do a special meeting, so
I thought we just, but I
Yeah.
mean,
either if we could agree on the wording and I'll provide like the final cleaned up version that we can give a thumbs up to by email, since we've agreed on the basic premise, or we can just knock it out right now. It shouldn't be too much. Definitely
Okay.
don't want to do a special meeting on it.
I don't want to do a special meeting, but, right,
So
So-
however you guys want to do.
let's go line by line. The Halls Road Sidewalk Committee will work together to administer and coordinate the 800,000 CCG grant to construct sidewalks along Halls Road. Do we call out the north side of Halls Road?
No,
Construction along Halls Road. They will
construct sidewalks and related landscape. So I keep saying related landscape and related improvements allowable under the grant.
Okay, now you're changing. All right. Sidewalks along Halls Road, along with landscape and related, how'd you put it? Related,
Improvements.
Improvements.
Allowable under the grant.
The grant. That done? You
Yep.
Good? Okay, so I'm not doing anything up here about the landowners, all that,
No.
all's out. They are gonna have to do that, though. Okay. Halls Road Sidewalk Committee will administer and coordinate the 800,000 CCG grant to construct sidewalks along Halls Road, along with landscape and related improvement allowable under the grant.
Can we just change the second along to including?
Including
Mhm.
landscape.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just a little
Yep.
awkward with along twice in 4 words or so.
Okay, sounds good. Based on that, do we have a motion to approve that? I will send the draft though, just to make sure that we're all in agreement, but I will send it. Jen's got it all though, so
I do.
she'll be bopping right along.
I will make a motion to approve the sidewalk committee charge as previously read.
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those who would like to approve the draft of that Hills Road Sidewalk Committee, which will be formulated through your email tomorrow, just for a second look at. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. We do need to determine though, how many people we would like on the Halls Road Committee, so we can set that up in onboard. Any ideas?
We talked about.
It was discussed last month.
I mean,
Yeah.
we could,
Oh, it was 9.
No,
Nine?
I think so.
I think it was 9. Okay, 9 members.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, draft for resiliency grant committee. This was taken from what we said within our grant application. I built upon that and we can certainly take anything out. Jim, you were very instrumental in applying for this resiliency grant, so anything you want to take out, happy.
Well, we just had a meeting this afternoon. It was our kickoff meeting for the grant.
Mhm.
And it was the LIS Partnership Connecticut Sea Grant, along with the consultant that they hired on their dime, who was SLR Consulting. They've done work for the town, and they have approved us going ahead and forming a committee, and they hope that we can have our first meeting sometime in March, or sometime in the March to April timeframe. And the idea is that the selectmen will work with the consultant and partnership. I've been the point person through the writing of the grant, and that we would have a large committee that would include all the representatives that we had previously identified, that included
Zoning.
planning, zoning, inland wetlands, affordable housing, harbor management. There were open space, and it would also include residents at large, concerned residents at large who had knowledge of resiliency issues, people from directly affected areas, the neighborhoods that are affected by flooding or wildfire, or the other issues that we would be considering. And all the initiatives that, and all the questions that come out of the consultants' work to develop a strategic resiliency action plan would be presented to the broad committee for comment and feedback. And that that feedback would then be channeled back to the consultants. So, and then there would be meetings subsequently altogether. But that the back and forth would kind of be, officiated. So because it would be a very large committee and it could be pretty unwieldy. So that's how it was conceived. And so with this, this works for me. But again, what I would do is specify that this committee is formed and will sunset for the grant. So it would be first sentence, Resiliency Grant Committee will be charged with working with Connecticut Sea Grant.
And then working with ETC grant,
/ LIS Partnership, Long Island Sound Partnership,
LISR.
LIS, Long Island Sound Partnership.
Mhm.
And SLR consultants
Mhm.
To develop a comprehensive strategic resiliency action plan.
To develop a comprehensive strategic resiliency action plan,
And continuing on the way that.
and then leave the rest. Okay, what are we doing with the second paragraph? Or do we,
That's fine.
that's fine. And what about 3 and 4?
Yeah.
And then the last sentence will be that this committee is for the duration of the grant.
Right.
Okay,
And we could say that the committee will discuss and comment on all issues related to the grant with community stakeholders. So basically, as this moves forward, we don't want there to be any surprises with people that might be affected by these issues. We want people to be able, in a formal way, to comment.
yeah, and I think
provide
that,
feedback.
I think it's really important that if you're on a committee and you're representing zoning, you're going back to zoning and giving a report to zoning on what is happening,
Mhm.
so that you can do it. Okay. I think I got this, so we can do this. Can we, do the same thing based on the changes that we've made? Martha will send a draft, we'll approve what it is, and if there's a tweak here and there, we can fix it. Based off the draft.
And just for reference, we anticipate this being a 2-year project.
Say again.
We anticipate it being a 2-year.
Okay. So I'm gonna make a motion that we accept the draft with changes made it, but it will be sent out for review tomorrow by all parties, just a second guess, but we basically agree with the premise of the foundation of this. Okay. All those in favor?
No, you made a motion, no second.
Sorry, I mean,
A second.
okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Okay. Last thing, selectmen general discussion. And of course, there was something that I wanted to discuss. And
Put it on the agenda. I'm sure there was.
I know one is the WPCA that I think we have to have a meeting with them before their meeting later this month. And I will send it both to you as dates and you can join. I know it's always on a night when you are working, but that's fine. We can Zoom you in. Just so that we set them in a direction. We'll have a little bit more information, I think, from Deep at that time. And put them hopefully on a path for success. Any other
Yeah, I
thoughts?
think I think it's time to look at their charge and maybe tweak, alter, edit, corroborate with them as to which direction they should be going. I mean, everyone on that commission, worked hard over a long time and, they took a lot of heat because it was a sewer project and, there was a lot of a lot of feelings and emotions. And I think people forgot that that was the task that the Board of Selectmen, not necessarily us, because it started years ago, that was the task that was at hand. And they shouldn't be viewed as, the bad guys because they did what was asked of them. So it might be time to review that and see if we want to alter it in any way.
Okay, so if we change the charge, that is an ordinance change,
Yep.
we will have to bring that to town meeting, but I think they have two ordinances, because I think they have one for the commission and then they also have the sewer avoidance ordinance as well. So we'll have to look at both of those. And
Sorry.
it's something that the committee can look at too. It's something that they can put on their agendas to look at as well. I mean, we have the initial thing, but they may be able to suggest something to us that we haven't thought of. So that is one thing that I would like to see happen, going forward.
And there's like a bifurcated mission for Water Pollution Control Authority, and it really, as you just said, they have the sewer avoidance ordinance, so it's kind of the dual nature of the WPCA. And there's a lot of things that the WPCA should be doing that they haven't been doing, just in general across town. Like, we don't really have a good survey of people's disposal systems, septic tanks, who's got what. There's a lot of things that a WPCA should be doing for the town. And it's sort of been not their fault because of this charge, and sewers have really consumed that agency. They've really been focusing on sewers, I think, to the expense of the other general mandate that they have, which is water disposal in the town at large. I don't have an answer or a recommendation for that, but I think we have to grapple with what is their charge and how do they fulfill their broader mandate. Does this need to be two organizations, one to deal with the beach sewer project writ large, however that works out, and the WPCA in general? Or is there a way of maybe just doing committees within it, or do we need to change ordinances? But I think we need to have a discussion on some of the things that, by necessity, the balls that have been dropped by the WPCA because they've been charged with a very, very large project that's been very time consuming.
Right. I think one of the other things that I worry about is I don't think we're up to date with our ordinance for pump outs, because I believe the state is now mandating 5 years. We say 7. So then that's something that needs to be changed. I think that I agree with you. And I did have a conversation with someone from Ledgelight, Cheryl, who does some of our septic designs and things like that. And she said, I don't understand why you stopped groundwater testing many years ago. She said, because you really need to do that to prove to DEEP that there's no pollution. And she said, I just don't understand why that was never continued on a regular basis. So that's something else that we need to look into. I plan to reach out to the lab that used to do it just to see what the cost would be these days, so that we can provide that information to the WPCA going forward. Personally, if somebody had a concern about my water supply, I mean, if I wasn't on Connecticut Water and I had a well, and they were concerned that the groundwater was possibly polluting my well, I'd be having my water tested every year for $175 over in Saybrook to make sure that it was safe for myself, my family, or my renters. And the other thing that I would do is I would be all up to making sure that I think most people are pretty good about having their septic done. And a lot of these homes are used 14 weeks and then they're shut down. So, I don't know. I think.
Well, we don't even know what's down there or in the rest of the town. I mean, this doesn't just apply to Soundview. We have water quality issues on Lime Street, as we know.
Bring that up deep.
But, there are inland waterways in town that are compromised, and we know this. They're not getting tested. They don't get tested by Ledgelight because they're not recreational. They're not getting tested by the state because they're not technically state waters. It's something that I think the WPCA going forward may need to address. That's part of their broader mandate. But we have to figure out what's happening with DEEP, what's happening with the sewer project, and then how we can approach that so they can fulfill both mandates.
Another concern I have is library lane, but if any of you, I mean, you're on Mile Creek, so you went over Mile Creek last night, it was extremely high over the Mile Creek Bridge. The waters were very high. There were a lot of elevated water levels along Library Lane, and that bridge is so low. So part of our resiliency issues, but that bridge, if you have a chance this week to go down and look with the full moon and just sort of look at it at high tide, I think that we are going to have to grapple with the fact that we need to do something to shore that up, raise the level of it or something, because the water is impacting the life, the people who live along that area. I mean, it's going into their yards. I know it's not a daily thing, but it is impacting, and they're seeing it more and more so.
One thing we have infrastructure issues in town, which is clear. We have culverts that are undersized or 80, 100 years old, some of them that have to be addressed, and that's part of our flooding. The other part of the flooding is the storm that just passed by on Sunday. We didn't feel it, but it was a massive, massive system of historic proportions out in the Atlantic. When those types of storms, which have been more and more frequent, thankfully they've missed us. They've been just offshore, but there have been some massive storms coming through, and they pile, an east wind in. So when you have a long fetch like that, there's nowhere for the water to go, and that high tide just piles on top of the next high tide, and then you see all of our marshes and all the creeks and everything rise, and that's been a big issue. Some of these weather systems are just of the magnitude that we haven't seen. And thankfully they haven't hit us. If one of those had hit us straight on, it would have been trouble. So, but that's part of why we're seeing some of these flooding issues. It's just there's literally nowhere for the sound to go. That water is just piling in at the race and not going out at low tide, because of steady wind and a long fetch off these storms.
Anything else?
Yeah, I just trying to determine when other commissions and boards are having meetings, who decides if they're going to be remote access or not?
Oh, I like that one too. The chairs have, but if we make it a policy.
So that's the answer I expected. So, I mean, I ended up probably disturbing Katie, and because I had people calling me wondering why they couldn't watch a certain meeting that was coming in that had significant public interest, in my opinion. It was, went to court, they making a deal. People wanted to know what was going on, and people thought they'd be able to remote in. And it the answer of it wasn't offered to me is not acceptable. We have all this.
Yes.
We've paid for it all.
Yes.
We use it all the time. I think it's time to have a town policy that it should be used.
So there are some board chairs that have come a long way in the last year. They don't really like the camera part of it, but they're willing to do the audio live. And that's a good step in the right so people can still zoom in. It looks like this. It's just that the camera's not on in the meeting hall. I don't know how you feel about that, but they have made some strides to do that. I don't see the problem. People are either elected or appointed to these commissions. They could see who's at the table. It's hard to know who's speaking if you don't have a visual.
I'm all for open and transparent government, and I think that's part of it. So I mean, if you're stepping up to volunteer, I don't see really, to me, I don't see the difference between sitting here and being on camera or sitting here and being seen from the audience.
Mhm.
And like, and to your point, how are we supposed to know who's speaking when you're remote if you don't have the visual?
So I hold a meeting in March called Spring into Action for all the board chairs. That's because basically they're all new, usually new, because they've been appointed in their February meetings. That is, so if we wanted to discuss this at our February meeting, I can put it on the agenda. We can devise policy. We have a policy intern. She can certainly create something for us as a draft. And then we decide, and if it is, we put it into effect after the Spring into Action. So they have to come up to speed in April.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hoping that we would have been at this place by now, but I know that their personality is involved. I've been in planning where the whole thing was literally a cassette deck, it's not available anywhere, they're just recording it on a cassette. And it's like, you want to listen to it? Sure, you can go over to Linux and listen to it.
Yeah.
And that's in this day and age, it's just not the way to do business.
Correct.
No, as a matter of fact, the Open Space Commission just paid their clerk to listen to about 9 tapes that had been from like 2012, 2009, 2012, we found in the basement. So we went back, we checked, there were agendas for those meetings, but no minutes. So she has recreated the minutes as best she can for those so that they're at least on record and they'll vote on them. But we had the
I can
tapes.
guess who tracked that then.
Huh?
I can guess who tracked that then.
Tracked what down?
That there wasn't any minutes for them.
Oh, it was me, our
Okay.
department, my office started it. We put somebody on it and said, go in, here's the dates. Actually, it was our policy intern who went in and did it for us to say, which of these tapes do we actually need to keep?
Well,
So,
I'd be in favor of having it on our agenda so that we can look at policy so that we can
okay,
push it along.
great. I'll do that. Anything else? I appreciate both of you so much over the last few weeks. I know Mondays are hard and I know that our online one was long. And our beautiful picture that was taken by a member of the press that we looked so stunning at our homes during a snowstorm. But hey, we were there, we were working, and I appreciate the time and effort that you both put into the budget. And now we move forward. Anyone who wants to ever come to a meeting on Tuesday nights, we're here, 7 o'clock, except for the week of February vacation, which we do not meet. Do I have a motion to adjourn at 7:43?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.